So today we're going to talk about things that you can do at a meeting to make your meeting more exciting rather than just have everybody talk at each other. The first thing that you can do is brainstorming. Brainstorming consists of getting a lot of ideas about a topic without censoring any thoughts at all. So when you brainstorm, you get a flip chart. You ask everybody to think about all possible ideas, wild, crazy. You don't censor ideas. You just have a recorder write them all down, preferably on a flip chart or something that everybody can see at once. And then after the brainstorming, you can go through and you can eliminate the ones that are impractical and focus on the ideas that are good. That's called brainstorming. It's very energetic, and it's really good if your meeting is starting to bog down, people are starting to doze off and get sleepy. The next method is presenting. That's the one that we know most often, where people are asked to give a presentation at the meeting, report on something. The key in this one is to make sure that you have a finite amount of time. So you ask the presenter to speak for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, but you don't give them an indefinite amount of presentation time. So on the agenda that has been pre-distributed, you make sure that you say exactly how much time they have, and you make sure that you stick to that amount of time. Next, we have discussion. Discussion is where you ask people to discuss about a certain topic, again, for a finite amount of time. So you might say something like, okay, now we're going to devote the next 5 minutes to discuss the XYZ topic. And then you let free discussion go ahead. And if people start to veer off on tangents, you remind them, no, wait a second, the topic at hand is this. Let's get back to that discussion. The next method is partners. Sometimes you have a meeting where people are just sitting there ho-hum and not saying anything. What you do for that is you ask people to turn to the person they're sitting right next to and just discuss it amongst themselves as partners. Then after they've talked just the two of them, you bring it out to the group at large and ask the whole group to share what have they said with their partner, and all of a sudden the discussion is lively and active because people have had a chance to pre-discuss. Next, we have small groups. This is a variation of the previous one, and this is where people talk in groups of 3 or 4. They talk about what they are speaking about, feel comfortable in that smaller group discussion, and then you bring it out to the group at large. With small groups, I usually ask that a spokesperson from that small group be asked to present the ideas that are representative of their small group discussion. Then we have a go-around. So let's say your meeting is really bogging down and people are just not saying anything. So I might say to the group, okay, now we're going to ask everybody to give me one sentence that expresses their idea on the XYZ. So they give them a second to think, and then I go, okay, now let's go around. Everybody give me one sentence on this. And that way you get everybody's participation in this go around the table, and even the sleepers are all of a sudden awake. And finally, medium. Sometimes if your meeting is bogging down, show a brief clip, a YouTube clip, 2 minute, 1 minute, just maybe something humorous, maybe something informative that will help the meeting move along and spark creative ideas. These are all ideas that you can use at your meeting to make your meeting informative, entertaining, and interesting.